Hello, hello. I am going to be doing unboxing today. Got a few packages in. I have my one from the Honeycomber Club, which you can see, and I also have one from the Gym Club. I am also going to be finishing up the hat bands, which I was going to work on yesterday, but I just really was not feeling well at all. So I am getting those pieces out of the paper so I can cut them on my own, but this gives me the precise measurements and it just makes it easier. I will set those aside for a moment. First, we're going to start with the Honeycomber Club box. They always wrap these so nice, and it looks like I have leakage today. I have honey coming out here, so I'm going to have to notify them that this happened. Means I need to be a little more careful. I'm going to pull these out. And this is the leaky one, I guess. Let's see if I can clean that up a little bit. They may need to do something to seal these lids a little better. I don't want to get honey on my work surface because I am going to be working with leather. So I'll wipe this down a little bit more and I will leave it on the paper. And now my fingers are sticky. Let me look real quick to see if I can find something for cleaning my fingers. I have some wipes down here. I do not have wipes, but I have the liquid from the wipes, so I'll use a paper towel. Get the paper towel a little moist in the cleaner. And wipe up my hand a little bit. There's nothing like having sticky fingers from something like this when you're going to be working on leather. Now my fingers don't stick together anymore. So this one is Spring Harvest Honey, which shouldn't be too hard to open since it wasn't closed all the way. It's a thick honey. This came in today. Black locust, honeysuckle, and almond olive flower. Delicate and mild, and it is. It's quite tasty honey. Very much on the sweet scale. This is a lavender infused honey. Mild with a bold lavender flavor. Stir in a calming cup of tea. I did not say the spring harvest is from Ohio. This one is from Plano, Texas. This is a more see-through honey. See underneath it. I'm not usually too much on lavender, but that is actually pretty tasty. And this is an orange blossom out of Florida. Delightful sweet citrus, Florida orange groves. Says it's good in yogurt, oatmeal, or with goat cheese. And this is a really thick one as well. That's a good honey. That orange blossom is a good honey. This one again is the one that leaked, but it did not leak much because the jar is still pretty full. But I will still notify them that this one did leak. See if there's something they can do to make sure that these are getting closed really well. Because having honey all over everything is not good. I'm going to put these back in the box, but I will stand them upright in the box. And leave some paper towel in there for where the honey leaked. I won't be able to keep these cards, so if I see something I like, I'm going to have to take a picture of it. This has a honey pecan cookie. And then this just tells you about the bees. But that one is very sticky with honey. This one is sticky with honey, so I will probably just take a picture of it so that we can try that out later. 3 very tasty honeys. Hi, Marcia. Yeah, that was a beautiful release of that gator, wasn't it? Hi, Beth. Good to see you here. Get some more of this cleaner so I can make sure that my fingers are not sticky, because sticky fingers is not conducive to anything else I'm doing. I redid the tape on my table last night because I was punching holes in a new pattern, so it got kind of messed up. So I have my box from the gym club. I did open it just to be able to pull these out. I got a piece of galena. Galena is a lead-based mineral renowned for its metallic luster and silver gray coloration. Gemstone is found in various locations worldwide, including the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. Metaphysically, galena is associated with grounding and protection, shielding its bearer from negative energies and promoting emotional balance and stability. And yes, I know you can read, but I read it as well for those that might be sight impaired. And the other one is a chrysocolla slab. Chrysocolla slab exhibits a mesmerizing blend of blue and greens resembling the colors of the sea. Mined in regions like the United States and Peru, this gemstone is linked to communication, empowerment, and feminine energy. Metaphysically, chrysocolla is believed to soothe the mind, encourage self-expression, and foster creativity and inspiration. I pulled the tape off of these so they opened easier. And this one is the chrysocolla. That is beautiful. The front of it is polished. and the back is not. So you've got the raw look here. It's a pretty thick slab. And you have that polished side. You can see how polished it is. You can see everything. You can even see my hand in it. So yeah, that's very beautiful. I might wind up putting that on a little stand so it can stand up behind something else. I will put this paperwork with it. So when I categorize it, catalog it, I have the information, because I actually do put that information in my catalog when I have it. And that means that's going to be the balloon, which evidently does not want to stand up like it should. Well, I thought I pulled all the tape. I guess I did not. Because they evidently taped it really well. Oh, wow. I do have a little breakage, but that's okay because that'll just go in my skull. That's a beautiful piece. I wonder if I had this in my collection already. I don't think I did. I know I have chrysocolla. Because, you know, I try to keep track of what I already have versus what is new to me, so to speak, or new to my collection. Because that matters. Let's see, open up my rock identifier. See? Go to me, collection, and then search. I have a man-made geode. It tells you all about it. Shows you a lot of different samples of it. It contains lead. Tells you all about it. So it's kind of cool. I got another piece to add to my collection. You can really see how it sparkles. Yeah, it's really pretty. You can see this big piece sticking up here. Really, really dark. And lots of crystals back here. And you can see on here I have a few crystals that have broken off. And again, I have the clear skull bottle that I will put stuff like this in. I don't throw out even the smallest crumbs. I just throw them in my jar to fill it up. The smaller stuff winds up settling toward the bottom, but that's okay. That was my package from the gym club. I should have another package coming in a week or two, which is very cool. Got some Amazon packages in. I think I know what they are. I don't think they're... I just put my hand there because I realized that's my address. I don't think they're leatherworking stuff. I think this is stuff I ordered myself. They are. They're my new earrings. Because I'm gonna be re-piercing, and I wanted to get some silver earrings. And I always wear hoops on a daily basis. And these are marked. I don't know if you'll be able to, if it'll pick it up. They're marked down here, down at the bottom, is 925. Excuse my scratch on my finger. I busted it. But they are marked 925. And this is 5 sets, and they're in different sizes. And I know there's another package that was handed to me. Here it is. Open this one this way so it doesn't show my address. This, in theory, is the same thing. We shall see. Hi, Donis. More earrings. And these are the ones I usually wear on my upper ears, but they're really hard to put in when they're small, but I'll figure it out. These two are marked 925, but it is on the little wire itself, so I know there's no way on earth that you're going to be able to see that because I can't see it with my naked eye. I think I would have to magnify that a bit. So I've got some more pairs because yes, when I have piercings, I have lots of piercings. So I will clean all these before I use them. Because I don't just randomly put piercings in my head without cleaning them first. And this must be a silver cleaning cloth. And that's okay with me. I'll keep them clean anyway because they're mostly going to be in my head once I re-pierce. I was waiting to get everything in so I could do that. Re-pierce all the holes in my head, and then as they heal, replace the piercings with rings. They tell you to clean your hands. Now I have this little gift bag I'll figure out what to do with because I don't keep these for myself. I don't even keep these little boxes. I'll probably send them to Lisa if she's interested in them. Or keep them for her, I should say. Usually I have a box and I'll just keep throwing stuff like this in it, the little bags in little boxes. And then I take them to her so she can pack stuff up. Same thing I do with all the mesh bags we get. Those were the unboxings I had today. And then I have some I'm going to leave that on there because it'll just be easier to put together. I'm not going to tape this hard. I'm just going to lay the tape on there so I can measure it to make sure that it's going to, oh, I think I need to make it go longer than that. That one's going to have to be a little bit longer as well. Probably should have left the longer piece on the other one. And I do this, get out of here, little flying bug. I do this kind of thing all the time where I make something and the straps they provide you are just not exactly the way you want. And it could be because of the leather I chose to use is thicker than what they expected. On this one, I actually sized up the hat a little bit, so that will affect the length of everything. And I was hoping this tape would just pull up easily. Ah, there we go. That'll make this work easier. Yeah. So that'll work across here. Easy. The other one needs to be a little bit longer than that, so I'm actually going to leave this on here and extend it. Let me see. I said hi to Donis. Yeah, I watched that video, and you know, he had been tied up since the night before, so I can imagine that gator having some sluggish legs and needing to get his legs about him before he took off. Which that's probably the only thing that saved those guys, because while he was trying to be feisty, his body had been tied up like that, so it's not as easy to just jump on your feet and go. Let's see if I put this together. Is it going to fit the way I want it to? It's catching on the leather because it's not a smooth edge. I think if I put those together, it will. I have not blocked the hat yet, but I will. And I'm running my pin down the line here to make sure it is lined up on this line so that I know these are straight. So when I go to put it together, they should match up, and they do. I hope everybody is having a good day today. A good happy Monday. Diane, I have not watched your video yet, but I do plan on doing so. Actually, I don't have to cut this out like that because I'm going to be attaching it to a piece of leather and cutting it out. So I'll just cut off some of this excess. Ooh, almost cut my end off. Cut off some of this excess paper. I think the guys at Gatorland underestimated how feisty that little fellow was. And that's why he kind of got dropped coming out of the truck. But I have learned if Robbie says, this is a feisty one, beware, then I'm going to beware. Because I've seen, when Robbie says something is feisty. There are occasions I will do things at my own risk. And that is on me. Now I'm going to cut the straps out and then I'm going to condition the leather because it's going to need it. And I did not use super stiff leather for this. I'm going to use this floppier leather because I just think it'll look good. I always do the long pieces first, then the shorter piece, and that gives me more than enough there. I've got 2 projects ongoing at this time because I'm finishing up this one and I've already started on the next one. I'm trying to get this to stay upright. There we go. I do have my tape sitting up here on something so that I can just cut it off and go along the way. I'm going to line these 2 up somewhat. Well, that didn't work. Leave a gap between them so that the tape can hold it down to the leather. And catch both of those. Diana combined we beat her. I am not going to take that as a challenge. I'm not going to take it as a challenge. I'm not trying to beat anybody on how many spheres I have. I will just keep buying them as I go, whatever I want, and I have what I have. And the tape is just to hold this down while I cut it. I could do this with a ruler, but I just don't feel like messing with it. Trying to keep my ruler in alignment to do this. This is just easier for me. And with being sick lately, easy is best. I'm on antibiotics for an infection that will hopefully disappear soon enough. It is getting better. I will say that. I usually don't use scissors to cut things out of leather, but in this instance I'm going to. And let's see if I have enough of this scrap, which happens to be the floppy leather used on the other hat. Actually, I might need to use something other than this floppy leather on the other hat for the hat band that goes around here for all the pieces to be attached to. I am going to cut this. I have this nice long piece that everything gets attached to, and then this will get attached to itself like this, and that's the hat band, and so all the other pieces get attached to it. Let me see. Come down to this end. Oh yeah, that's big enough. Just fold those edges over. So this goes to the new hat. And if I turn around, I do have a nice huge hide. Nope, not the one I want to use. Don't want to use that one. That one is shiny leather, and that does not work with what I'm doing. And the leather I use for the brim is way too stiff. Let's see. Oh, that's big enough. I'm just going to cut off a piece that's big enough for what I need it for. Because there's no way I'm going to try to put a whole hide up here. And this leather has a little bit more firmness than the last one, so this one would hold up for a hat band. My coffee is going to be in the video a little bit. Francis, I am so glad you had a wonderful time at the beach, and hello to you. Being able to go to the beach and just have a good time, that matters. And I don't cut my tape in huge, really super long pieces because sometimes it'll fold back on itself and then it makes a mess. So I try to work with pieces that are more manageable. And I marked here, it says visor. That's where the visor gets attached to this hat. I will show you the pieces of this one in a little bit. So I'm kind of doing a mishmash of working on things today. Francis, it sounds like what my daughter has to do. She's extremely pale. And so she has to use massive sunblock because she is very, very pale. Hello, child of mine. My daughter is one of the ones that, you know, Robbie, we were joking about it, but it was serious that it's like, yeah, Lily goes outside and 10 minutes later, she's pink. That wasn't as much of a joke as one might think it is. And in Florida, it was definitely, sunblock was a necessity.
Even with sunblock, I still burn.
Yeah, even with sunblock, she got a little bit of a burn because she is extremely pale. So this piece goes to this hat, as does this piece. And to show you what I did, if I can find the scrap that was over here. I know there's a scrap here of this stuff. Because I throw all my scrap pretty much all in the same place. Dig around in the scrap bin a little bit. Oh, shoot. I was showing it to my daughter last night. Oh, there it is. I was showing it to my daughter last night. I started off with a piece of leather like this. You can see it has, you can see where the outside is what's dyed. The inside of this is not dyed. So they did not barrel dye this. They didn't soak it in the dye for the dye to permeate the whole layer, which is great. It looks great like this, but when you're using it when you're not covering the edges, it doesn't look so great. So I dyed the edges myself and polished them off, burnished them to give it that look. So I went from this to this. You can see the difference in that. This is part of prepping things. I cut them out and then put dye on it, and I use a burnishing tool and literally sit here watching a video, rubbing it like this. Which takes a rough edge and makes it smoother. Which is what you would want to do to polish it up a little bit. And this is one of those things you can do mindlessly. You can sit here and do this and watch TV or talk to someone, read the chat. It's funny, my mom has had fairly dark skin. And so does my dad. My mom had heavy olive tones, and in the summertime, she would actually look mixed race. She would get so dark, or she would look Hispanic. And I took after mom in that regard, is that I tanned very well. Lived in the sun as a kid. Burned only a few times in my life with a real burn. Other than that, at the beginning of summer, you get red, it hurts for a day, and then you're done with it. You're over it. I've had one real burn that lasted over a week. But my mother's mother was extremely light colored skin, very fair. And Lily took after my grandmother. Her father's family had darker skin. You can see how that polishes up that edge, makes it a little shiny. Because this will show out just a little bit. I am waiting for the thread to come in for this one because, well, this is going to be a black hat. It is going to have rainbow stitching. So I've already cut out all the pieces, and I've left the pattern pieces on them because this not only tells me what pattern piece it is, but it tells me which ones it connects to, because these are not the same shape. So you can see at the top of these, the shape of them are different. While this one has a more straight edge, this one is sloped. So it's very specific on how you have to connect these. So I have them actually in the order they connect in. And then you can see even the ones with the straight, where they're both straight, when you line up the pieces one way or the other, this way is easier, they're not the same length. So the order of these is extremely important. So I made sure to do that correctly. Oops, that one's number 7. This is part of the front of it. And this edge will be attached to this band, but this will also be attached to this. And it will kind of, well, actually, I think this gets attached up here. And so it folds over the front of the hat. So it's similar to a flat cap like Scott's, except this one has a lot more pieces. Scott's had just a few very long pieces that went from the front of the hat over to the back. This one, they all meet in the center. So we will see how that goes. Yeah, Dave is supposed to go in tomorrow. That's right. I have Topher standing in front of me. I guess he wants to say hi to the chat.
Hello, everyone.
I'm just going to use that to help hold all these pieces together. So I cleaned up and conditioned this. I have not conditioned these pieces yet, but I will do that. I've cleaned them up as far as brushing the holes to get all the white stuff out from the paper. And now that I've fixed my table and got rid of all the hole punches in it, I guess I'll just make some more hole punches in it. Topher, everyone's telling you hello. Everyone is saying hello. Let's see, figure which hole punch I need. This one fits, so it's not these. It's this one. And I always test this to make sure, because I can see the holes through here. And so I make sure that this is going to line up with all the holes before I get started. Oh, wow, Francis. We never encountered that, but when I moved to North Carolina, there is a large Hispanic population in North Carolina. And when I first moved there, I was in the store and this guy just starts talking to me and he's talking Spanish. And I just kind of, I turned and I looked at him and I'm like, do you speak English? And he apologized to me and said that he thought I was Spanish because I had long, dark hair. This was before I was dyeing my hair. And, oh, those are not lining up. So I'm going to have to use my single on this. But I had long, dark hair and my skin was dark. So he assumed I was Hispanic. I did not rub this down with wax. If I don't wax this, then what will happen is all these pieces of tape and paper will start to stick. In the tube, and I won't be able to clean it out. I go in when I'm done and I just push things through. And you can see where that piece I just cut came out right there. I do that when I finish up a job so that I don't leave these with wax and everything in them. One of the benefits of using a pattern is I don't have to use any kind of measuring tools to measure how far from the cut edge these holes are. Nor how far apart these holes are, because the holes from the center of the hole to this edge, from the center of a hole to this line is a certain distance all the way around. It's consistent. Can you hold, oh wait, I can't mute this thing. I don't think I can mute it. Yes, I can. Hold on a second. Okay. We were talking about dinner for tonight because with me being on antibiotics, I need to be careful what I eat. Last night I ate something that was actually it was this morning. Topher made me bacon and eggs, and my stomach got upset from the grease, which is not usual for me, but it happened. And so I just want to take it easy for dinner tonight. So I'm going to have a basic sandwich and soup.
Yes, I remember it was my first time making bacon.
You did fine on making the bacon. The bacon was wonderful.
Okay. I did have Ollie help me out a little.
Yeah, Topher is learning how to cook. He had not been very interested in learning how to cook things, and so we never forced it. I don't believe in forcing children to learn. He knew enough to keep himself fed, that if he had to go out on his own and keep himself fed, he could. But as far as cooking anything major, we never forced that upon him. And now he's starting to get a little more interested in cooking certain things, so we teach. I'm a firm believer in teaching all children cooking, sewing, and cleaning skills. We call them basic life skills. Diana, I hope they call you guys soon to let you know something. Because I know that has to be hard on you. You know what? I think I'm just going to take the scissors to this because I think it'll be easier for me to get smooth edges. Trying to make 50 bazillion cuts around a circle is not going to do it for me. And if I don't like the way it looks, then I will print out the piece that has this little circle on it again. And I will find out which one of my hole cutters matches the size. And I will do that. I just didn't feel like getting out my hole cutters today.
Don't you need them to punch holes?
The circle cutters, not regular hole cutters.
Oh, okay. Would you like one?
Would I like one?
A popsicle.
I'm hoping I don't even need this piece. Yes, Topher, give me a popsicle.
What color would you like? We have orange, pink, yellow, green, purple. I have no clue what color that is.
What color? That's the ones I like. If I'm not mistaken, that's pineapple. Freezy Pops.
Oh, there's another blue one.
We love Freezy Pops. I got mail today. The U.S. mail ran today here. Did it run for anyone else? Or is Georgia just trying to have people work the holiday to catch up on the mail they're behind on? Because they absolutely ran mail today. Did anyone else's mail run today? Yeah. Well, I know Georgia's mail is on fire. Hey, Lisa. Okay, it must be a Georgia thing, because the guy in charge of the post office, all the post offices in Georgia, decided to make some changes. He closed one of the facilities. He closed actually a couple of the facilities that sort the mail and route it, and opened a new facility to and merged in the best workers from the other facilities. And it's supposed to be a cost-saving measure that would not affect how mail is run. But I got a piece of mail that came in and came down here, then went back up here, then came down way past there, and then back over here. It was like it passed by my house 3 times. Hi, Rosie. I watched your live last night. Stay off your foot. Keep it up in the air. Make it heal. Put all the health and healing stones around your leg. I'm eating a Freezy Pop because we love these things. And you need to talk to your ortho and find out if Florida did stuff wrong, if they will write that up, because then you can go after Florida. Because that's bull. They had all your information, so there was logically there was no reason for them to delay anything. Need one of those lawyers that doesn't get anything unless you win, and they only take a certain percentage. Because it's really crappy that, Florida can't say, oh, we needed her insurance cards. No, you didn't. I brought them in. Well, that's different because these match up to that one. And these match up to nothing. Fine. Oh, wax. It irritates me. That, took you in, gave them all the information they needed, But of course, one facility couldn't even transfer phone numbers to the other facility. Because when I took Rosie in, I gave them mom's phone number because mom was on her way. I gave them David's phone number because David is the spouse. And specifically said, call them and keep them in touch with what's going on. Legally, I can't do anything. So they transport Rosie to the other hospital and absolutely did not call mom or David. Lisa called around to find out where Rosie was, and they got all excited and wanted to talk to Lisa to get family information. So Lisa got the contact of mom and David happening, calls me to talk to me about it, and I'm like, they had David's phone number, they had mom's phone number, and Robbie's like, they had my phone number. They might have even had my phone number. We tried to make sure they had all the numbers. But I did everything, trying to work things out, made sure mom had the address where we were staying. She had planned on, she's like, I'm just going to get a hotel room. And I'm like, no, you're not. Got a house here. Rosie's paid for a room in this house. You're staying in this house. She's like, oh, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, there's an empty room. You're staying here. And so she was grateful that I did that, which I thought it was a no-brainer. Rosie staying in the room or Rosie's mom staying in the room doesn't change anything. We weren't going to be using the room anyway. We wound up swapping the rooms around, though, because one room had 2 beds. And Rosie was originally in a room with 1 bed. And so we swapped the rooms so that Rosie and mom didn't have to share a bed. And mom didn't have to sleep on a couch. With this way, they could both sleep in the room. Mom could keep track of Rosie right there. And the beds were also lower in the room with the 2 beds because we were concerned about Rosie getting up on the bed, because the bed she was originally in sat quite a bit taller. So by the time mom arrived, we had everything set up. She had the code to get in the house, so if we weren't there. So yeah, we took care of it all. Hi, Phil. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and there was no reason for them to wait to do the surgery. But yeah. Yeah, Rosie, I know you've talked about it on your live, so it's just insane. Totally insane. What started out to be just a wonderful weekend, or a wonderful week's trip, turned out to be not so wonderful in that regard. Thank you, hospitals in Florida. And I didn't go to the hospital when Rosie was first put in for multiple reasons. One is because, well, I gave them the information and Mom was on the way and they had Rosie totally out of it. And two, I don't do well in hospitals. They cause me a lot of stress and anxiety. I don't go in a hospital unless I absolutely have to. It took everything I had to be in the hospital with Topher when he broke his arm. It brought back a lot of very not so great memories of being a caretaker and staying with my husband in the hospital. So, yeah, I did everything I could from the backside of, I kept Rosie's phone with me the first day so that I could get it charged and get her charger and have Robbie take, because Robbie had already said he was going up there. So I enlisted Robbie to take the fully charged phone with a phone charger to Rosie at the hospital. There we go. This leather is rather tough. Yeah, Phil, you are right. When we first, it should have been a clue to me when I told them exactly what was wrong with Rosie. And they looked at me and said, well, how would you know it's a compound fracture? And I look at them and go, well, I don't know, maybe because the bone punctured the skin and the foot moves independent of the rest of the leg. And they still sent 2 people out to verify that it was exactly what I said it was. Seen this before. They totally did not trust me to tell them what a compound fracture was. And this wasn't it looks like a compound fracture. It is a compound fracture. And then when I showed him where it was, and the nurse went to move things and was like, yep, that's a compound fracture. I'm like, we have a compound fracture. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Told you so. There we go. That goes in the trash bin. Oh, no, yeah, I offered to undress Rosie. I could have gotten your overalls off of you. By the time they were ready to undress you, I could have gotten your overalls off of you without hurting you because they already had a basic brace around your foot, so I wouldn't have moved your foot. So I could have completely undressed you. I could have completely made you totally naked without hurting you. And they wouldn't let me. They said something about getting the scissors to cut the overalls off. I said, please don't cut the overalls off. I will undress her. It's okay. And they said, no, you can't do that. I'm like, oh, no, yes, I can. Well, it's like a giant toddler at that point, a sleeping toddler, because Rosie was out of it. They had pumped Rosie with so much pain meds, which is understandable. First things first, no pain. No pain for the patient. Having them ouch, I just stabbed myself. Having them feeling no pain is a good thing. Why I always got to make myself bleed? Yes, I am taping my finger where I cut it, because I don't want to bleed on the leather. Blood is hard to get out of leather. I am going to use this strip to hold these layers together while I cut. And Rosie, the phone that's up here is where the StreamYard is. Yeah, because they didn't wait to look up your medical records or see what medicine you were on or anything before they started shooting you up with stuff. You know, once I gave them David's number, and instead of trying to get answers from me, they should have done that little thing like use the damn phone to call him to get all the information about you. But they insisted on trying to ask me questions I didn't have the answers for. The one thing they did, which I appreciated, was they did have someone standing immediately outside of Rosie's door monitoring all the vitals constantly. Yay! One leather strap. going to burn off the, well, maybe not. I don't know where my lighter is. Besides somewhere up here on this desk. I had it last night. I have a tendency to drop it. It goes underneath my computer. Or I'll hit it and drop it into the floor. There it is. One of the things I do is I'll use the lighter because the leather will get the little fuzzies on the edge. And the lighter will just burn those off. This won't be seen except on the inside of the hat. But that doesn't make it any less important.
Huh?
I'm not talking to you, child.
Sorry.
I'm on stream, dude. Remember?
Yeah.
Talking to you guys. And Topher thought I was talking to him. He's like, huh? What? Kids, gotta love them. No, there's my phone that's up here is the one that has the StreamYard on it. I'm looking at the chat through YouTube. I would have to totally take the phone down in order to get the link. Yeah, Ollie's up there. I don't know what he's doing. Oliver is up there, possibly going to start dinner. I don't know. They are all going to eat breakfast for dinner, I think, because that's what was planned. I'm going to just have soup and a sandwich. Get out of there. Oh, there's a persistent little piece there. Ah. My daughter gave me her old iPhone. It's still functional. It just doesn't have a phone number attached to it. Where did you see it? Diana, where did you see that name? All right, I'll see you later, Rosie. See those holes line up beautifully? Oh, my legal first name, Tori, Tori, comes out of the middle of the name. I don't have a problem. My legal first name is Victoria. And Tori comes out of the middle of that. I forget that that is not general knowledge that absolutely everybody on earth knows. You know, for me, I'm like, of course, everybody would know that it comes out of my first name, right? It's like assuming for girls' names that everybody would assume Terry comes from Teresa. Haha, no, not everybody assumes that. Nor is every female person named Terry a Teresa. Oh, I'll have to tell the kids to check. I'm just going to burnish these edges just a little bit, because when the hat is made, basically it'll be this way. And so the finished edge will be on the inside, and that's what will go up against the head. So you'll have a head like this, and this will sit around it. This. And this head is the right size for me demoing this hat, and that's good. That makes me happy. So the rough edge is where the other leather will get sewn to from all of these pieces. And if I'm not mistaken, these will also get stitched in. So this will be this way on the inside. So this will get stitched like this. And then folded over, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked the actual video yet, but I will. I still like the way I was able to burnish that one piece. So I will take these two pieces. Let's see, do I have I do have a loose piece of thread hanging out over here. You know, when I'm sewing and I have all these pieces of thread left over, and I do save them, I don't throw them away. And one of the reasons I don't throw them away is because I am always needing scraps. I have those pin things that Marcia got me, which I love for stitching, putting my stitch holes together. But when I'm setting my pieces to the side, I do not use those because I would hate to bump them and have one of the pieces come off. And then it be lost. I need to find my scissor sharpeners and sharpen those scissors up. So what I do is I take my pieces and I'll put them together like this so I can hang them up and not have anything come up missing. Put all my pieces up now instead of having them sitting to the side, because the last thing I need, I have a hook over here that I hang my next project on when I start working on one project before I finish the other one. And in this instance, I'm actually working on both of them because I'm getting everything prepped for the one I'm going to be working on next, which is going to be fun. It's a design I have not used before, so for me it is a new design. Even though I have made a flat cap before, I have not used this pattern to make a flat cap. The dogs usually bark when I get a delivery, and they did bark earlier. Drama, drama, drama. Oh, yeah, I actually watched a little bit of her live today about the drama of those two. Everybody has had problems with these two people. Even the people that start the drama have had trouble with these two. You know it's bad when the drama queen has drama with someone else. I am so glad that I never, ever, ever tried to help Kim. Ollie, you could have said hello to chat. Rosie will be mad. She missed you. She just said, she says, "Where's my boy? He was my lifesaver that day."
Hi, chat.
It's Oliver. Please tell me she did not go live after Emma's live today. Because if she did, Emma is going to eat her alive. The thing is how do you go on how do you sit there on a live and say, you should have just listened to everybody tell you not to give me anything, that I was going to scam you? And the person whose name begins with an L and ends in 55 is back to having the same old name. And they have a post on their community tab that some may find interesting. I am very cautious over who I'm sending money to from now on. And I actually have 2 packages here I need to get in the mail before someone starts talking smack about me. I'm behind on getting a couple of packages out. Oh, these scissors hurt my hands. Yes. And I don't know how true that is. I am not involved in that. Let me see, where are my round cutters? You know how you can buy drink mixes to make a gallon pitcher? We buy those. My ruler is going to fall from here. And I save the containers and then I use them to put things in. That one is a little too small. I'm pretty sure that one's too big. Oh man, that one's too big. Which means I don't have one that is the exact size I need. I do that, and then do that. I can make it. Yes. Yes. But what she's saying is when Sandfire went on her channel and did that live and sold things with her, is that she took the money and never sent anything out. So she's basically saying that Sandfire has taken money from people and never delivered on that. And whether or not that is true, I can't answer because, well, I've never bought anything from Sandfire. Hey, Terry. Oh, these are harder to get. These are harder to get cutting than my hole punches are. I need a bigger hammer, is what I need. But I don't know where it is other than my metal one. And metal to metal is a nightmare. And if I had my hammer right here, then I could take care of it quickly. Oh, Lord. Why is it not cutting? Just starting to cut. I might have to turn the sound off for a second so I can bang this with hammer with louder noise. That didn't work well. Okay, let me. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Elizabeth. Yeah, you guys didn't want to hear that. It was loud. I think I'm going to try my other cutters until I find my sharpener compound, and get my Dremel out and sharpen these up because they should not be this dull. Oh, my computer just flashed at me. And I will save this about the holes because I'll use that for later to put the holes in this. I want to double check the size of it first. You ate all your ice cream and tiramisu. Yeah, I still want me some tiramisu, some good tiramisu. And I know my husband texted. Okay, let me see. I need to check and see if I actually did get a package. Because if I did, then I can tell the kids to go forth and get my package. One of the things that happens when I'm doing stuff down here is my phone gets leather scraps all over it all the time. So let me see if anyone has delivered today. It's the shop app. I don't think it tells any of my personal information. But what it does do is it tells me what's going to be arriving and what did. USPS, USPS, Amazon, USPS. It doesn't have anything. Actually, I don't have any FedEx deliveries listed on here. So let me pop over to my FedEx app, shipping. FedEx, which will probably show my address, so I won't hold that down because oh, I love ice cream with root beer. No, it says that I'm going to have it delivered by the 31st. Okay, this, I will put my thumb right there because that shows someone else's address. So it's telling me before the end of day, which is earlier because they originally said June 3rd. And now they're changing it to the 31st. FedEx is doing a wonderful job. I just have to find out why it's not showing up in my shop app anymore, and it should be. My UPS app has to update. So I have this strap. I'm going to have to burn the edges of it because it's got fuzzies all over the place. I don't know if you can see the fuzzies. Yeah. I'm probably going to put a little dye on the edges of this too. Might not need it, but to me it looks a little green, which it's going on a green hat, so it shouldn't matter, but such simple things in life. When I do leather work, I get to play with fire. Yeah, they probably notified you of the change of delivery date. And one of the things I like is this does have a little bit of stretch to it. Dress it up a little bit. And what that does, it'll soak in, but you can see the difference in it a little bit. So now you need to get the stuff for a root beer float, Marcia. It's one of the very few times I actually have soda. Is when I buy it for a float. For myself, I should say. Other people in the house do drink sodas, and will gladly drink soda if it is purchased. I'm the only one in the house that does not drink soda just because. Yeah, it hasn't been that long for me, Marcia, but I in general do not drink sodas. any conditioner that I have left over from conditioning something, I just rub it in my hands because it won't hurt me. I mean, it's for skin after all. Whether it be dead animal skin or whatever, you can use it. It looks like UPS forgot my phone forgot my account information for UPS. Oh, that bites. Okay. See if I can get it to remember it now. Okay. I didn't forget anything. I had my it doesn't like that. Okay. Fine. Wants to use my email address. Interesting. I'm sitting here looking at it in one place and it's not letting me log in with it. Huh. I'm a I'm gonna have to change my password now. Now I need to change what cutters I'm using. I think these are the ones I want. Of course, it's going to be the one I put everything in. Because those are atrocious. Okay, let me fix this. Oh, did they change it? UPS has changed the requirements for your password that it now has to be 12 to 26 characters long. fine. Has to have an uppercase and lowercase. Oh, well, then that must be what my password is. It's telling me I've already used it. So we shall see. Okay, I'll have to do something else to change it because it just doesn't know who I am or where I am or anything else. I wish I had to gain weight. Actually, I don't think trading off is exactly a good thing either. It's not necessarily a good trade-off. I'm going to see if this cutter is any better than the last one. Oh yeah, this one, it went right through. So I will use this quarter circle cutter to cut those ends because those cut really fast. That is how the half rounds, the semicircles, half circles cutters should be working. I should be able to put it on there and go. And it cut through it like this. But it did not. So let me put my, that's all I needed those cutters for. I don't need these cutters. Let me put my screwdrivers back. I put my screwdrivers and such in these containers because they're right in front of me. And that makes it easy access for me. It's also where I keep my 1/2-inch wide rulers because it makes them easily accessible for me. Ink pens, my pliers, my StreamYard went stupid on my computer. It's dead. Probably because I did not log in today. Okay. I'm guessing I might have disappeared for a little while. I don't know. Let me see, because it acted funny for a minute. And I had to restart it. But I know some people deal with being underweight, and that can be equally as bad as being overweight for different reasons. Many people who are underweight deal with malnutrition. Meaning that the body is not absorbing what it needs. And some people just prefer to have that happy body weight that makes them feel good, or the right size that makes them feel good. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Mine's not so much a weight as it is a size that makes me happy. And it's, you know, what size. That also it also makes my husband happy that I don't get any smaller than that. Um, Jeff does not like um, does not like he likes something to hold on to. I'll just put it that way. And it's not that he doesn't like someone that has a small body. It's just he prefers to snuggle with someone that's not tiny. And he also thinks that when I start hitting really smaller sizes, that it doesn't look good on me. And I happen to agree with him. If I get to the weight that the height weight chart says I should, or Weight Watchers says I should, to me, I look sick. Been there, done that. And I went to my mom's house when I reached my goal weight, or I either reached it or I was slightly above it. And I walked into my mom's house and she asked me how long I'd been sick. And that's when I realized some of that stuff was just insane. There's a lot of things they do not take into consideration on the height weight charts that deal with your body's structure. On female bodies, it has to do with your breast size. Because someone who is heavy in the chest is going to weigh more than someone who is not when they're wearing the same size clothes. And that was my situation. I was cursed with that from my mother's family. So my maternal grandmother, it skipped my mom and then landed on me. There we go. Oh, I did not cut this all the way through. So I've dealt with the height weight charts always saying that I'm overweight. Thank you, Diana. Trying to make sure these edges are smooth. Because at the end of the day, I want these to look good. I'll tell you what, being sick does not do well for me. I am so tired. Actually, Elizabeth said I'm doing a good job. I don't know if I said a name with that or if I said the wrong name. When my head is kind of out of it, I am not a good sick person. I don't like being sick. Not that anyone does. And I don't like taking pills. But right now, that is my reality because I am on antibiotics. It is working. It's also making me feel nauseous if I eat too much grease because my body is freaking weird and acts weird to things, and has decided that this round of antibiotics will not be taken with anything greasy. Found that out early this morning when Topher made me bacon and eggs, and then I took a pill, antibiotic pill, and I got sick from it. At which point I just went and laid down because when I get sick like that, that's the best thing for me to do. Forget the rest of the world exists and just go lay down. I am using Dubbin. That's what it's called. That's the kind of conditioner it is. And this particular brand comes out of Australia. It's called Joseph Liddy. Actually, I do not have the correct pronunciation for that name. Liddy. But it is a Dubbin, meaning that has to do with its consistency. This one is predominantly a neutral, but it does have a slight yellow tint to it, so therefore I would not use it on white myself. I have something else that I use on whites that looks like whipped Vaseline, that has absolutely no color to it. Now let me see. Let me see. Clippies. Because clippies are the best. Another one of my tools of the trade that I wind up having to pick up from all over the floor are these little clips. Because I can use them to hold things in place that don't have holes in them. And this strap may be too short. Or may not. Yeah, that's too far back. I need to pull that more to the front. Maybe I need to put this strap on first, then adjust the other one. Let's try here. If this is where this fits, the other one's going to have to be shortened. fighting with it to get this to roll correctly. And I do have to beat on this hat a little bit to shape it. But that is going to fit across there. And I will condition it. So therefore, this one needs to be... Do not put things in your mouth that don't belong there. I have a tendency to put my leather crafting stuff in my mouth, which means that sometimes I may be grossed out by something. So yeah, I am going to have to definitely cut this one down. I extended it a little too far. Get back over here. There we go. Oh, that hurt my finger. My finger that I've already busted up once. Yeah, that'll be good. So I do have to cut it down. I think I will whack off a good 2.5 inches. Not off this one, but off this one. Dadgum, that finger hurts. One day I will grab a pack of bandages and put them down here because I have a lot of them. I have several first aid kits that I've bought for the house. And I'm really bad about not putting one down here. I think I have 4 or 5 of them upstairs. Last year, at the end of the year, I had to use up, I have a copay card. And it is a use it or lose it. So if you do not use the money from the copay card, then too bad, so sad, they keep your money. And I am very big on not giving away my money for free. So I might have gone online at the last minute and ordered a couple of scales, a couple of TENS units, some bandages, some triple antibiotic ointment, first aid kits. See, I got scales, a blood pressure cuff, just things I didn't need just to use up my money because I don't give away my money for free. Let me see, is this the right one? Yeah, that's a good one. I could check right there. Yep, that's the one I used. Only took one whack, not 2. So now these straps are ready. when I get ready. Trim that edge a little bit. Trim that edge a little bit. And I will put that in the hat, because I will fight that one later. We got someone dinging my phone. Oh, my husband went to the pharmacy. CVS is open, but the actual pharmacy was closed today. CVS is a pharmacy. The store is a pharmacy, but they opened the store portion and did not open the actual pharmacy portion. That is so insane. It rained like the dickens last night. I am hoping it starts raining again, because if it's raining like crazy, then we don't have to deal with fireworks tonight. Because the people around here don't like getting wet. They're afraid of the rain. Okay. Like I said, I've already conditioned this piece. It feels pretty good. I actually conditioned the back of it and burnished it down a little bit. So I'm going to leave this one alone. These pieces have not been conditioned, so I am going to do a little conditioning. Yeah, I know it's Memorial Day. We should pop off fireworks for the military personnel who have passed away. And for those who don't know, the evil one that shows up in my chat is my spouse. My husband extraordinaire, also known as Jeff. He's the one that takes good care of me. He's the one I'm going to have to take a road trip to Texas with soon. I do believe. Because we got to go pick up my trailer. Flip these. I did put the numbers also on the back of them. So we'll see how that works. Diana just forgot his F's. Geo. Oh, the chicken salad actually sounds good from the rotisserie chicken. Just if you come across any of the fat, throw the fat away or give it to the dogs. Don't give it to me. I don't want to do fried bologna because of the grease. I'm hoping I like this design of the flat cap as much as I liked the other one. I never thought I would like the flat cap until I made Scott's. And then I figured out how cool it was. And because of that, I wound up selling a flat cap. Because I made Scott's and posted pictures of it, someone else requested that style of hat. And because I posted the pictures of that one is how I got this one. Of, hey, you don't happen to make the one with the multiple panels more than that one. And I'm like, and my favorite pattern maker had just come out with this pattern. And the gal really wanted an 8 panel. This one only has 7 panels. And I told her if she really, really, really needed it, I could split the back panel and turn it into 2. If she really needed it to be 8 panels. But I showed her the picture and she goes, hey, I like that hat. And I said, well, there it is. Because this is the center back. And I could easily split this panel and extend it to have the 3 layers of stitching on each side and stitch it back together to create this size piece. No, it is not the worst mangle of your name. But it is pronounced Jeff, same as the J name. It is the same name as, they use in Germany all the time. They used in Germany all the time. They might still use it. I think that's the correct German spelling. But Geoffrey Chaucer, And my husband will tell you it is the correct pronunciation of, it's the correct spelling for Jeff. The other one is the mangled spelling. And as you can see, I don't have to put a lot on here. I am literally rubbing like where this tin doesn't look like there's anything on it, and you can't even see it on my fingers. I'm hoping the lady that goes by Doc loves this hat when it's all said and done. What piece is this one? This is number 6. I need to fix the other ones to look like number 6. And I'm setting these pieces out different places. Oh, it's English? Whatever. But he still says it's the correct pronunciation. It's the correct spelling of Jeff. Not Geoff, not Goff. Just Jeff. I did meet a guy when I was in high school in band whose name was Geoff, and he specifically mispronounced his name. With crackers, because then I can have the crackers with soup also. My husband takes good care of me. especially when I'm sick. But I went to school with a guy, he called himself Goffrey. He was a Geoff. It drove his parents insane that he purposefully mispronounced his own name. Of course, I went to school with a guy whose last name was Reynard, and I went to college with his younger brother, who had changed it to Reynaud. And I'm like, boy, your name is Reynard. And he goes, it is not, it's Reynaud. And I said, you know, I went to school with your brother. You know, I proceeded to tell him where he grew up, which streets he grew up on. And he didn't appreciate that too much. And we were all going on a road trip. So we were all getting dropped off at school because it was a several-day road trip. And his mother dropped him off, and she introduced herself as Miss Reynard. And he kind of blushed when she did that. Lurk mode on. Yes, because you cannot be in here being social from your phone when you've got chicken fingers. Or chicken on your fingers. Not chicken fingers. My husband does not have chicken fingers, people. Anyway. Just such a little amount goes such a long way. Oops. You can see I'm just right here in the middle where you can't hardly even see that there's anything there. And boom. You can see the difference. Oh, yeah, it's pretty. And I want it to be soft because if I am not having to add, if I'm not having to take up any space in this hat, which after I get this together, I'll know. I gotta look at how this is sewn together to find out if this is going to be the accurate measurement. This one I'm not sure I will be able to sew the regular hat band in. Because the hat band may need to be trimmed to make it fit. And if this is the part that's going to be inside the hat, like this, that also means that this goes against a person's head, and you want it to be the softest part of it. And that just sucked up that conditioner so quick. You can see how fast it goes on.
Do you have cotton balls?
Yes, I do.
Can I have one?
I can't remember where they are. Why?
Because I need to soak my ear. My earbud. There's my gauges in. Not happy. And Q-tips are not.
Hold on a second. I am going to talk to the child for a minute. That's Oliver. Hi, Gabrielle. Gabriel. God, I can't pronounce names. Happy Memorial Day. Okay. I'm going to go on mute for just a second. Did you say hello to my chat earlier?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Let me get Ollie set up for a second. I found the cotton balls for the child. I knew I had them down here somewhere. You're welcome. This is going to be nice and soft. And that piece, if I need it, will be nice and soft and ready to go. Check on these pieces. Looks good. Go ahead and burn off the edges. And leather will not catch fire the way fabric does. That's something you will find. That is one of the reasons why leather is used so widely in things. It is a protector. Bikers use leather because, well, the flame resistance is one of them, and it also, you might tear up your leather on a bike if you get in a wreck, but you didn't tear up your own skin. That simple. This is number 8. I have to pay attention to how I put these pieces together so that I make left and right match on what's on top. Because I want there to be a consistency with it. And this stuff does have a smell to it when you burn it. I'll go ahead and close these up and hang them back up. Number 8. Some of them seem to have more conditioner left on them than others. I hope, no matter where you are today, that it is as quiet as you need it to be this evening. I have lived most of my life in a neighborhood with former military members, so did not do a lot of fireworks. And when we moved here, no one ever did fireworks. It was very quiet here, and we appreciated it, as did the guy down the street who was a war veteran and had some PTSD associated with that. And now we have the dogs who absolutely do not appreciate fireworks at all. But I grew up, you didn't just pop fireworks in your neighborhood all the time. We actually had places to go, or where we would go. 3, 2, and where's number 1? Oh, there it is. Number 3, 2, and 1. Oh, that feels good. That's going to seep in really nice. Yeah, they have times they set off fireworks here that we don't think they should, but the only laws we have here is how late they can set them off. So, Topher usually winds up with dogs in his room because they see his room as a safe space. He has their beds in there. You basically walk in his door and you're stepping on dog beds. Because the dog beds are right there. We do that intentionally. They have a space they know is theirs. They consider you go to your room. It means go to Topher's room and get on your bed. And that's for 2 out of the 3 dogs. I got to figure out what I'm going to do this week because my daughter is supposed to be working on a cosplay type thing for going to the Ren Fair this coming weekend that she has done zero work on. I am going to have to do a little bit of alteration on it for her. But there was stuff she was supposed to have already started on and hasn't. So we will see how that goes. And obviously this piece, I will buff it up with my fingers, but I am not adding anything additional to this one because I want it to maintain its stiffness. That's going to be nice. That piece is nice. Yeah, see, I would be calling the cops. We do have rules here that have to be followed. And it's like, don't even pop your fireworks late. It's bad enough we got to deal with the dogs as long as we do. Don't pop your fireworks off late. I will find out where you live. I will call the cops. I will have them show up at your doorstep. And remind you, don't be popping fireworks after hours. Because here you can do that and they won't tell them who called. Just that there were neighborhood complaints against them. And the guys in our police department that I've met have been very nice to work with. Sorry, I moved my screen around and then I bumped my camera. Yeah, that makes it a bit different. We're in a neighborhood, so it's real easy to tell who in the neighborhood is setting off fireworks. I know I can't do anything about the city or county area in general, but I can about this immediate neighborhood. And distant fireworks don't mess with the dogs so much as the ones that are close up do. Now I'm going to have to fix my table again. I just fixed this and now it looks all dirty again. It is literally just tape over it. I'll probably just add more tape over this instead of taking this up because I just cut this down last night all the way to the base layer, down to the cutting board. Because it is a cutting board. I need to order some more cutting boards. Oh, they don't have it big enough. I'm so disappointed. 18 by 12. Oh, what size is the one I got? The one I got is 24 by 18. So this is what I use. Let me see if I can share this. Share a screen. Yeah. Let me see if that shows. Yep, that's the right thing. So this is what I use. It's 24 by 18, 30 by 18. Let me see how long would that be? Let me see how far that goes. That might even be better. But I don't know that I want to pay the price for one that's that big. Wait a minute. Did they just say a 30 by 18 is $51? Because if so, I might have to get that. Because that's an amazing price. Yeah, see, that wouldn't help. Let me stop that one. The other thing I use a lot of is for stiffening. I showed them in the hat, the green piece. You can see it was that green cutting board right here with the, looks like a tomato. I mean, they've got these, they're color coded for different kinds of meat. I mean, different kinds of things, you know, meat, chicken, fish, vegetables. There's another one as well. Cheeses. So, you know, it's meat, cheese, chicken, vegetables, fruits, fish. And I have no clue what that's supposed to be. What is that purple thing supposed to be? What is that? Oh, breads. But sure, they're nice to have in your kitchen and use in your kitchen. However, I don't use them in the, well, I do have some I use in the kitchen, but I buy them to use as stiffeners in my leatherwork. And I need to order both of those. That 30 by 18 cutting board for the same price as a 24 might be a win for me. I mean, I do prefer them to be an inch thick, but a ½ inch would still work. Let me see. Yeah, that would work for me. think I got one that was an inch thick. Or maybe not. No, because they don't have these an inch thick. These are all a ½ inch. To compare them, the black one, that is the 30 by 18, the same as the white one I just had up, is $60. So it's $10 more. To have it in black as opposed to white. They don't have it in blue or peach or purple or orange, or actually it's red, or yellow. Which is sad, but it is what it is, kind of thing. You can get a set of 6 of them that are 24 by 18 for $151. But I don't need I don't need 6 cutting boards at one time, so. But that's what's under here. And what I use for pounding holes on. I think it's insane of them waiting until the day of to call. So I have pretty much finished the things I was working on today. I have some other busy stuff to do, but it's easier to do that stuff offline than it is to do it online. And part of the reason of that is there are some things when I do them, I pull them really close to my body and you can't see them because I'm not working here. I'm working back here behind the table, up against my body. So it's really hard for you to see that. And otherwise it's like, trust me, I'm over here working on it. Trust me, trust me. Clean up this table a little bit, because one of the things I am going to do this is what I do to my table. My table, in reality, the actual table itself is an old chemistry table. You know those black tables you would find in the chemistry lab? Some of them would have the gas hookups and the water, the little sink with the water hookups. And some of them would just be the plain black tables. This is one of the plain black tables that you would find in a chemistry lab. And when I was in North Carolina, there's a thing called FreeCycle. And someone posted on FreeCycle that they were giving away this chemistry table for free. Just come get it. And I said, sure, I'll come get it. And I show up in my minivan, just me, after work. And luckily, the guy was extremely nice and decided to feel mercy and show mercy. And he helped me load this chemistry table up onto the top of my van, onto the roof. And then I got home and got the kids to help me take it back down. And I have carried this chemistry table along with me for years. I like it because the legs are adjustable. I'm probably going to adjust it to be higher so that I could use a taller chair to sit in. Just means I need to use some WD-40 and some massive pounding with the hammer to get the pins out to adjust the legs, but I want to see if I can put it up tall to use one of my really tall chairs, which would help with my back and my legs. Oh no, this roll is dead. I need a new roll of tape. And I know I have some. I have several. I actually have a box of rolls of tape. Just found my turquoise leather dye. Which is not what I was looking for. Sorry for the distance in my voice. Oh, I do have this tape, which is what I prefer to use on my table. I've just been messing with a lot of patterns, so I have stuff thrown around on my table. I thought I just set some up here, and I can't find it right this minute. Means it could be over here. Oh, I just threw my head in the floor, which is bad. Not literally my head, but one of the heads, mannequin type heads. That box needs to go upstairs. Moving the packing stuff from today. From the unpacking, I should say. Hat band material I was just using. Buckles galore. I can find my black tape, which I don't need. You know, when you don't need it, you can find it. But when you need it, you cannot. have a pattern thing here I need to not lose all the pieces too. Because some of them have been cut and they're smaller. I will basically use some of these clips to create an envelope effect so pieces can't fall through. I'll do it like that and the pieces won't fall through. And then I'll clip it up the sides a little bit and all the pieces will be secure. I just found a pair of missing scissors that had gotten dropped in my box of Clippy Doodles. These are Clippy Doodles. I use very technical terms for these pieces and parts that I work with. Oh, hey Gabriel. I have tons of these things. I have tons of them in the floor too because I keep dropping them at my feet. So now those pattern pieces are safe and I can set them over here out of the way and pick up the clips off the floor. I have two-sided tape that I have a love-hate relationship with it because I do have lots of long purple hair that gets on everything, and that means it sticks to the two-sided tape where it's not supposed to. And so when I go to pull off two-sided tape, I'm pulling hair off of it all the time. Because if it's anywhere near me while I'm leather working, a hair will fall on it and it will wrap and wrap and wrap on it. A two-sided tape comes in handy when you're putting in zippers because you can basically hold them in place before you cut the holes for them and stitch them. Just holds everything in alignment, which is a necessity because in normal sewing you would pin a zipper in, and because we're working with leather here, you cannot just pin it in because the holes would not go away. I'm going to set this up here and see if I can keep it out of the way. I don't think I need this. This is trash. That is trash. I'm trying to get rid of stuff I don't really need. That is scraps. I'm just needing to pull stuff out of the box I made myself. I think I showed you guys my boxes that I made myself. I need to take those back upstairs so I can start utilizing them. I just found one of my other hammers that I was looking for. picking up the leather scraps, all these pieces and parts from where I work on different projects. I worked on the shoe purse, and then I worked on that hat, and I did not pick up the scraps between the two. I need to do math too. 61 divided by 2.54. Sweet. I found the head I need to block the green hat on. Well, that's going to fit him nice. It should be not too tight. Oh yeah, I got to do some banging on that, but that's okay. I'm going to stick these pieces in here and just stick the head in there for a minute and let that sit. Set that off to the side so it can at least hold the shape, the basic shape of the hat for me to work with. Why I had a head over here where I was working on the foot purse, shoe purse, is beyond me. But sometimes I'm crazy like that. Which I need to find out if she wants me to ship her the shoe purse or if she wants me to bring it to her when I'm going to see her in a few weeks. I don't think I'm going to keep all of these little. Actually, I might keep these and cover them in leather and make bookmarks out of them. Hi, Stacy. That would be something I could do with some of these scraps, is turn them into bookmarks. That might be a fun project. Take these pieces and cut them to about an inch and cover them in leather and throw them in stuff when I'm giving them away. Basically, give people bookmarks with their stuff. Cutters, fancy cutters. The shoe, which I need to ask her about, so I'm going to put that in a visible spot so I don't forget. Pieces and parts and parts and pieces. The deconstructed hats that I didn't like the way they came out. Pattern pieces I no longer need because the hats are gone, shipped out. Oh. Diana, I should send you some of these. There's something you can appreciate. They are not sterling, but they are unicorns. I have a tendency to collect stuff that I find that I can get at reasonable prices, you know. bells, because you never know when you're going to need them. I'm a collector of things. Large, huge, like huge Ziploc bags that stuff came in. Part of my ADHD or whatever is, I can't throw this away because it's useful, if that makes sense. It's not trash, it's useful. Someone can use it. Don't know what I would use it for, but somebody can use it somewhere down the line. Somebody's going to ask me if I have a big bag, and I should have the big bag because, yeah, I have it. And if anybody's ever interested in having a bag made out of some of the same leather as Coach, I have some of the Saffiano leather. This one is called Starry Night. It actually has little sparkles in it to make it look like this night sky with little twinkles in it. That's just a piece for the scrap bin. Have a couple of scraps from the bag I made, from the boxes I made myself, the custom boxes. My friend that comes in here, Jennifer Mason, sent me this leather because they thought I would enjoy it. And I do. I did. I made myself custom boxes to carry things in when I travel. Okay, well, I am done looking for the tape because I can absolutely not find where the tape is right now. And what that means is I will get off stream and I will turn around and the tape will be laying there in my face. Because that is the nature of how things work for me. I can't find things when I'm looking for them. And as soon as I stop looking for them, they're like, hey, here I am. And I guess that's okay. But I'm happy I found my scissors because these have been missing. And I did not know they had fallen into my bucket of red clips. So I put them back there. And what I'm going to do is switch over and do a top coat of this tape. Oh man, as soon as I get both layers at the same time. I hate when tape splits. It makes me not happy. And tomorrow is back to the grind of work. Yay me. I do not sound enthusiastic because I know I have work that has to get done tomorrow. Technically it's due on Wednesday, but I need to, for my mental self, I need to finish it tomorrow. So anything last minute can be left over for Wednesday. And then I get to show up for the meeting on Thursday to tell them what I'm already going to tell them in my emails because that's how they roll at work. It doesn't make sense. You send them a follow-up email, but then they want you to go in a meeting and tell them what you said in the email. It doesn't make sense to me. But if that's what they're going to pay me to do, then I will waste my time typing out an email to give them a status and then turn around and tell them the status that I sent them in the email. Lisa, that spare room's gonna. Hey, can you have the spare room? No, the spare room's gonna take a while. I expect when I come down in December that the spare room is still gonna be full of stuff. I bet you did, Lisa. I should look into seeing how long I'm going to be there, how long I'm going to be there. If there's any Airbnbs in the area that'll be available when I'm going to be there, if they're not too expensive, or if the hotel will be a cheaper alternative for me. I mean, if I could get an Airbnb like the last one at the price I paid, that would be my best bet, because that was like a steal. The Airbnb cost was only $100 more than the hotel. And it was only about $100 more than the hotel. And that was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. It was a nice house. It's not one I would live in personally, because I require more space than that, because I am a hoarder of things. Actually, I'm a collector of things. As I've said, I have 70-something vintage and antique sewing machines that there is no way I could bring into that house. There would just be no space for them. Most of the places in the villages are not for people who are collectors of things like I am. They're for people with more practical living arrangements. And that's the tape I have until I find my other tapes that are going to jump out at me as soon as I go and go to do something. I'm not silly, Lisa. I'm realistic. This is my arthritis pain relief, because I'm a big ninny and my hands hurt. Find if I rub it this way and then I do it this way, I can get it in the joint better. But it's right in here. But I find if I do like this and I stretch this part out, sometimes I'll put my hands down like this and push. It stretches, creates a stretch in here. Hurts like the dickens while I'm doing it. But then when I stop, it releases. When I stop, it releases that pressure in here, and so they don't hurt as bad. So between that and my arthritis cream, that's what I do. Yeah, Kendra's challenging Diane to a duel of spheres of, it's going to take you a while to catch up with me, or something like that. And Diana being Diana, is like, on God, I accept your challenge. I don't have a sphere here. I would have rolled one off on the table. Actually, I do, because I didn't take my box up from Kendra. But it is not at the top, I don't think. There you go. There's your dual. Isn't that beautiful? If you find that you have duplicate balls, Lisa is accepting donations of balls. Lisa is collecting balls. Lisa wants all the balls. No. Now, Lisa, when you show off the ones you're getting that you're keeping, you need to make sure that you tell people, this one is mine. You may not buy this one, but I can order you one. Because you are so bad about, I got this for myself. And then someone goes, but I want it. And you're like, okay, I'll sell it to you. So you're going to have to say, this ball is my ball. You cannot have this ball. You can buy one just like it that I can order you, but this one is mine. Oh, you have some coming. See, I thought you were buying yourself some. You should. Do I have to talk you into taking some? I just love this. I like that it has the pinks and the blues. Name that stone. Everybody order everything from Lisa. Buy lots and lots of her resin works so she can buy herself stones. This one is, if I'm not mistaken, I know this. It's Petersite, I believe. Which is not spelled the way people think it is. No, this is Quesera. Quesera. But it's also, that's the proper term for it, is L-L-A-N-I-T-E, lanite, rhyolite. It's in that family. Lanite, rhyolite, Quesera. And so it's blue, light grayish, pink, into red browns. And so I have, this one actually has the blues and the grays. And it has some of the pinks in there. My other thing I have in there. They do have some that are more of the pinks and less of the blues. But I'm sure if you told Lisa you wanted one that was blues, she could find you one that's blues. I specifically wanted the one that had more blue in it than pink. The other one that Kendra had a lot of the pinks in it. This is why I cataloged mine in here, is because if someone, see, I did get a piece of petersite from her. I got this tower from her. If someone asks me if I have something specific, I can go to collection and then I can search in. Like I can search in Peter, Piet, and pull it up that I have petersite. Or I can put in amethyst and it will show me every piece of amethyst I have. Well, except for my tumbles, because all my tumbles are under one number. And see, like this one, it's a pair of wings. And so they're under one number. They don't get their own numbers. But I have all of these amethyst pieces. Make you go drunk on those. I have lots and lots of amethyst. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize I had this much amethyst. I should never do this to myself again. And see, some of it's pink. And I do that if it's multiple stones. This is a skull I just got from Lisa. And it is dream amethyst, chevron amethyst, and the eyeballs are labradorite. So I make sure I put it this way so it'll show up whether I look up amethyst or I look up labradorite, it'll come up. You know, I put both of them in there. Some of these I have to go back and get pictures of because the picture didn't come through. But this is that app. What is it called? Rock Identifier.
Is a thing.
Okay, that doesn't have anything on it. That's, see that brown rock identifier app? That's what it is. Yes, I have a lot of amethyst because amethyst is my birthstone. And I love purple. So I have tons and tons. What, Topher?
Did you get food?
No, my husband was fixing my food.
Doesn't take that long to cook.
I don't know, you can check on it. Evidently, my food's been sitting up there ready and nobody has brought it to me, which means that my soup is cold. So, but anyway. Yeah, I actually have quite a bit of citrine as well. And the app is predominantly accurate. It's not 100% all the time. It's really bad if you have stones that are multiple things or in one. But it's predominantly accurate. There are sometimes I do have to update things, but like I have citrine. And this is why I said I had to quit buying duplicates, because I have like citrine. That is an extremely dark citrine. That one is rather light and almost goes into the, and this is like tumbles. It almost goes into a green color, that one does. You know, and then that one's still fairly dark. But that one's, you know, a mix. Then I have like a little mini sphere that's extremely light and see-through. And then I have, you know, towers. I know it's not in here yet. My huge citrine is not in here, and it should be. How did I not put my biggest citrine in here? I mean, I have this that's purple amethyst, spirit quartz, so it's a light purpley gray, and citrine. Oh no, Diana, that's horrible. So you have your phone fixed where you can't just add apps. So I am going to get off of here, and I've been on 3.5 hours. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to come on or not. It'll be dependent on my work schedule and if I wind up working late tomorrow or not, and how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling okay, I might go ahead and come on. But if I'm feeling really crappy, like I was feeling earlier today, then I won't bother. I'm not going to come online when I'm feeling like death warmed over. So I hope all of you had a wonderful day today and will have a wonderful evening. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. And Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9:30 and 10, everyone pops on over to Tuli's in the pod. Tuesdays, they do some chatting and news and game. And Thursdays is normally some chatting, possibly some news, but definitely some sales. On Fridays, 7:30ish, you can find us at Get Swamped, watching the adventures, listening up the week's adventures with Robbie and Z and John, sometimes Scooter, but we listen to what's been going on, watch them open the mail, and then they have a sale, which is primarily rocks at this point. When work permits, you can find lives at Stacy Northern Aurora Treasures, where she is selling things. They do some amazing 3D stuff and sells some jewelry she puts together and stuff like that. And a lot of times with her, you will also find Flutter Yo selling some pretties. If you like just watching people open things and watch them show you their things, you can catch Diana showing off her stuff. Phil, CPR, you can often you can start popping over to his channel. He's going to start doing adventures in his wheelchair. And someone that was here earlier that is very random at going on live right at this time. But when she heals up, she will be back going live. You can pop over to Rosie's Random Treasures. That is a lot of the crew that we all hang out on the same channels together. Some of us have met each other in real life, some of us have not. But we try to share the joy and support each other in our streams. So you can pop on over to their channels and subscribe there as well. I'm sure they wouldn't mind you watching their videos and liking them. And if you have not done so here, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Like is in hitting that thumbs up. Hit the bell notification so it tells you when I'm going live. And if it's not telling you when I'm going live, then tell it to not tell you, and then tell it to tell you again and see if that fixes it. Otherwise, unsubscribe and then resubscribe. Sometimes that fixes it because YouTube has to be unique in how sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And I will see you, and I know hopefully I'll be getting some more stuff in that I can open up and look at. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about finishing up the bands on this green hat and getting it shaped the way it needs to be so that I can get it shipped out. And I need to poke the person that's supposed to give me the size on the garrison cap I need to make out of that same leather. And until they do that, I will be working on the flat cap that I am currently going to be making. And that one, let me see if I can pull that one up. Let me see if it has a picture in here. It does. Because this is a bit different of a flat cap. Definitely different from the one I did for Scott. Beautiful nonetheless. That is the flat cap I'm going to be working on next. So I am going to be logging off now, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I will talk to you all tomorrow on Two Leaves in a Pod. Thank you all for stopping by and seeing me. Bye for now.